Hey guys, welcome back to On The Ball. So I was planning on doing an NBA playoff prediction video. That's been postponed due to coronavirus and its impact it's had on most major sports in the country and parts of the world. Due to the outbreak of the coronavirus, the NBA, NHL, MLB, and most major sports have either postponed or suspended their regular seasons. The night the NBA decided to suspend their season, I was at work. I was scrolling through Twitter as my shift was about to end. I had seen that the Thunder game had been postponed as the game was about to be started, and they stopped the game, and I knew something was wrong because there were a couple players that had been sick before the game started, and I just knew and had a really bad feeling that coronavirus was the reason why that game was being postponed. And obviously a couple minutes later we found out that a couple of the NBA players had contracted the disease, so the NBA was forced to suspend their season. For a lot of people, sports has been a distraction for tragedy in this country. Death, natural disasters, whether it be diseases, any of those things. We come to sports to try to get away from all those bad things. For example, back in 2001, Mike Piazza hit a go-ahead 2-run home run in the first game back for the Mets in New York since 9/11 had occurred. It brought all of us together. I was only 1 year old then, so I didn't experience that, but I've seen it on YouTube and social media several times, and I know that it had a big impact on a lot of Americans' lives as it brought them together. Later that year, George Bush threw out the first pitch in Game 1 in New York Yankee Stadium for the 2001 World Series, and it was a perfect strike, and everyone went crazy when he did it. It was insane. And just recently, when Kobe Bryant was honored at the Lakers' first home game since his tragic death, you know, tragedy brings people together, and it's a sad truth, but it's a reality. You know, we just have to fight against these terrible things. And in the case of coronavirus, we just have to be smart. Social distancing, washing our hands more. Just be smart. Look, I'm not pretending to be an expert on viruses or anything, but I just know we need to be more careful. And for the time being, we're not going to have sports. So I'm just going to go on and talk a little bit about NFL free agency because that's been a big topic over these past few days. So this being the biggest news story of NFL free agency so far, and will be most likely the biggest news story, Tom Brady agreed to a 2-year deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for $50 million. For a long time, I thought Tom Brady was trying to get Belichick to give him some help, and I think that's what he was doing because right before he signed with the Buccaneers, Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Hopkins were both traded. So I believe that Brady did want to stay with the Patriots, but at the end he just thought for his future he needed better weapons, better wide receivers, a better team around him that he's had in the past couple years. But I was extremely shocked that the Buccaneers were the team he was picking. You know, I thought the Chargers were a good fit. They have weapons, obviously. They got Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. They just lost Melvin Gordon, but they got Hunter Henry they just franchised. And they have a really talented defense, so I thought that would be a good fit for him. But he's moving to the NFC, and he's going to Tampa Bay. I was, like most people, I was very shocked for him to leave New England at all because he's been there for so long, 20 years. You know, it's a tough thing to leave a place where you've been nearly half of your life. As for Tampa Bay now, I think they're going to be a stronger team. You know, Jameis Winston had 30 interceptions last year. We all know the 30 for 30 story. He had 42 turnovers in total in the year, which is insanely high. In the last 4 years, Tom Brady's had 29 interceptions, so that just tells you how often he coughs up the football. I'm not ready to say they're going to win their division yet, but I think they're up there with New Orleans right now. I really do. I think they have a talented defense. I think, obviously, they have great wide receivers. They have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. They got two tight ends, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. I like Ronald Jones as a running back, a young running back. You know, their pass defense hasn't been great over last year, but their rushing defense was actually number 1 in the league for yards allowed. They only allowed about 73.5 per game, which is shocking given the fact that they were in a bunch of high-scoring games last year on both offense and defense. But substituting Jameis Winston for Tom Brady, we can't underestimate that. That's even if Tom Brady's had a decline, which I think he has, I think you can expect a 2 or 3 win increase. And right now, I think Tampa Bay is at least 9 wins. I'm going to say probably 10-win team next year, which is going to compete for the division title with the New Orleans Saints. Now, as for the Patriots, I'm not going to pretend like I know. Nobody knows what they're going to do. They've had Tom Brady for the last 20 years. You want to count the 1 year where Matt Castle went 11-5? Sure, that was after a 16-0 season, so that's a pretty respectable drop-off. You know, they had Garoppolo and Brissett play those 4 games when Brady was suspended after the Deflategate, but we don't really know. Well, the only quarterback they have on their roster is Jarrett Stidham. Are they going to go draft somebody? They don't really have a lot of draft capital to do that. They're going to get an Andy Dalton who are they going to get? We just don't know who their quarterback is. On the other hand, I don't think they're going to fall off a cliff, mainly because I think Belichick obviously he's the greatest coach I've ever seen of all time, and they still have a weak division. Their division isn't that strong. Buffalo, Josh Allen looked pretty scared in the Houston Texans playoff game last year. We don't know about the Jets. Their coaching staff has been holding them back, and Miami's going to draft a quarterback, so they'll either have a rookie quarterback or Ryan Fitzpatrick. So I think their division is still pretty weak. I just don't see them winning their division next year. Even Belichick is a great coach. Jared Stidham, I don't know if he's the guy. If they could draft Tua, which I don't think they have, like I said, enough draft capital to do that, I think they're going to have a chance at the division, but I think that they're going to be fighting for a wild card spot, maybe 8-8, 7-9 I could see, but that's obviously a drop off from a 12-4 season last year. So all in all, I think Tom Brady's going to compete for his division. Don't know if they'll win it, but they'll probably make it to the playoffs. And New England, I just don't see it next year. In a couple years, who knows? Maybe they draft another quarterback, like they tank for Tua. Maybe they tank for Trevor Lawrence. Who knows? But right now, I don't see New England making the playoffs. Thanks for watching On the Ball on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you want more content like this. For more sports analysis, follow my Instagram page @OnTheBallYouTube and follow my Twitter page @OnTheBallYT.